moons, warrior.
Oh.
The quarter moon, making you up to stay here for a bit of a half or longer. Putting your time to basically 1 moon in hanging out in the Red Mountains. Yeah, they go without too much of an issue. You don't really like for food and water here. You're feeling grimy, dirty, and there's like dust and sand everywhere. But you're feeling better. Your wounds have healed up. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably very tired of this cave and the immediate surroundings. They're not interesting at all.
Yeah, we have tied up the Dornish Strider one.
I would assume so.
Yeah, just what I mentioned.
No, he's
keeping him alive and whatnot.
He's been waltzing around serving her drinks, didn't you know?
He seems very uncooperative. While the knight seems to be cooperative, at least to Bree.
Right.
Though he is simply waiting to be let go, as it was.
Yeah.
So that he can go and do something else with his life.
Strider was rude. We'll bring him with us.
How is Growth back yet?
The knight has probably told him that. So, you know. I don't think he is.
No.
But yeah. And perhaps then it is time that you would want to move on.
Oh,
Though
God,
you could, of
yes.
course, just go further into the mountains. I'm a bit distance in. You could probably make it to the roost without too much further. If you were lucky, you know. Who knows what's in between there. But
Yeah, and there's gonna be some stuff there as well.
There's going to be an
Likely.
entire army there.
Yeah,
thousands.
we can take him.
Thousands.
We can take them.
There are rules for single characters
We've-
attacking army units.
There is,
We've
and
seen-
we can.
We've seen 300. We know how this works. We just hold the pass.
300, yes, with R5.
Oh, I mean, 5 people can hold that damn pass. You 3 in front.
Even Leonidas struggled with 300.
Well, it was like a million
It
of
would be like,
Persians.
imagine that scene where at the end, where they have the little shield bunker and then like the sun is blackened by arrows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Except they're all 5 dice shot arrows, and
Oh,
we're
5
all
arrows.
fucking dead.
You
Yeah.
know, there are ways that could be not so bad.
Yeah, we need more tower shields. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
More of them.
Alaric can't even.
Form Testudo!
I can't imagine Alaric and Varen can even fit behind their tower shields. Like if they crouch down behind them, like
It's like they're
their
having,
knees
like,
stick out or
war.
something.
Yeah.
You know, Ren is just buried by it.
Yeah,
Sit
like
down
most
and
people
put
like
shit on.
hide behind it, like just hunch over a bit. We're just like, oh, it's a normal shield.
Have to get down on one knee to be behind.
Yeah.
Mirish crossbowmen, famous for using their shields and their like Mirish crossbows to do terrible things to people.
Testudos, man, they're powerful. Helped crush Germania. Anyway, yeah, we'll set the Dornish Knight off with some water, like. I can't
And
remember.
whatever message Bree wanted to send with him, which we assume she tells him as he leaves,
Yeah. Can't remember exactly what she wanted.
or
but
whatever. I have no idea.
I can't remember.
Regardless,
But off we
where
go.
is it you wish to go to?
Tower of Joy, then on to Helmbreaker Hall.
Taking a day to chill at the Tower of Joy, and then a few days up the Princess Pass.
Yep.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, we'll
Helmbreaker
tie-
Hall.
We'll tie up the Dornish men like arms and feet behind his back together, and then also his mouth.
You need to carry him. Like,
Yeah.
I put him in a wagon.
We don't have wagons.
Okay, I'll carry him then.
Alaric's not fucking carrying a Dornishman.
I'll
Destiny-
carry him.
I told you a destiny point at wagon.
Destiny point, there's a wagon.
This
Destiny
wagon is
wagon.
destined. Destiny
We'll be
wagon.
activating an environmental quality of this being like a trading, a little bit of a storage post.
Hashtag Destiny wagon.
No, but I'll carry him. Just throw off his armor and carry him.
And we'll set the night free with a couple days of water.
Bree will handle that.
Yeah. And then we're off.
Going into the dark tunnel.
Mhm.
Hoping
So
not to get
Westling
lost.
can take up the rear, I feel.
Oh, sure.
Who's going to be carrying lights, out of curiosity?
You'll do it.
Okay,
You
I'm
have
staying,
one.
I'm staying far away from Sir Westerling.
Kevin can take up the front. Alaric will
Sure.
hang out behind Ren, who I presume will be like Kevin.
I mean, he's also one of the stealthier ones, so keep him in the...
Yeah.
No trouble.
And Bree will be somewhere in the middle, I presume.
Bree will be wherever Bree wants to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She'll be there.
You
Bear's
make
probably in
your
the back.
way. You make your way through the tunnel. It is not a pleasant trip. It's kind of claustrophobic, and it seems longer than it should be. Hard to keep any sort of semblance of time down here, really. So it feels perhaps like you walk here for a couple of days, but who knows, really. In the end, you basically get to a place that has a little bit of a... So you did find a wagon on the way, actually, a little bit into the tunnel. Like a little pulled cart for a guy to basically pull behind him.
Right.
And as you get to the other end, you see basically a stairway, too narrow for a cart to really get easily up. You'd have to put it on its side and like pull it up. So probably the cart is sort of the thing
I'll
down
just,
here.
yeah, I'll just leave it down here then, I guess.
It is very well hidden from the other side. Not from this side. This side is pretty obvious what to do. But from the other side, even as you leave the little hole, you're maybe not even sure you could find it again.
Might
This strange
want
place.
to mark the location with something.
No, anyone that passes through here will just get rid of the mark.
Maybe.
We'd have
Yeah,
to
hidden
show
mark.
them where it is.
I mean, you can sit down and spend some time like getting the correct. You're probably staying here a day anyway, or like a night anyway.
Spend time
like,
learning it.
to basically be able to make a foolproof description of how to find it. But it is like, yeah, it
can
is.
also-
It's quite considerably difficult to.
You know, you can also make like a non-obvious mark a few like yards, a few hundred yards away. Like now you're in the area.
The Tower of Joy isn't that big, and it is like in it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, staying here might be dangerous if Dornishmen from this tunnel knew that you were here, so that they could sort of pop out in the middle of you and just kill everyone while they slept. Yeah, but the night in the Tower of Joy goes quietly. It is peaceful, as when you were here last. There's not really much of a ruckus, almost no sound. The heat seems lessened. It's cool and sort of nice, and almost puts your worries and the thoughts of what might have gone on in the outside world to rest. Nevertheless, it seems like you will just want to travel on as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Taking the days of travel to Helmbreaker's Hall. Definitely not just giving more. That can go away too. Yeah, Helmbreaker's Hall again is at the outskirts of the mountain, sort of the hilly area where it really begins to. The mountains sort of have a very strong cliffside here, but otherwise here they're sort of very steep and then begin to be more mellow on the side of the Boneway, where they're sort of more flattened out hills over here. The Dornish Mountain, Red Mountain region is a pretty big region. You keep from someone like from the Vale or something, would probably even say that Respite is at the outskirts of it, which is technically true, though it's nothing like this sort of the center of the actual mountains. Helmbreaker's Hall is again a smallish place, and yeah, you get there, you are let in by guides who are perhaps surprised to see you somewhat, but also happy. Yes,
I'm muting my microphone in the middle of this. I have to leave today.
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Bree will take care of that guy. I have taken care of that guy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You basically get there, and I mean, do you want to talk to Sir Urgus?
Yeah. Yeah,
Give him
he
a
can
mission
relay.
report?
I mean, we came back here to report, right?
Yeah, yeah. We want
So,
him
yeah,
to relay it.
we want to talk to the Lord. Yes.
I guess I just hand over the strider to like a guard to take to the dungeons.
There.
Take this guy.
Yeah, and they're like, oh god, it's
That's
Bloody
fine.
Grand Man.
Not in a good shape, having been like dragged.
No,
Wow.
basically,
What have you done to
He's
Vern has either
delirious
carried,
at this point, and yeah.
Vern has either carried him on his shoulder, like I guess like a
Yeah.
grocery bag on the side, just swinging along.
It has been like very rough trip.
Yeah.
Bree is young, and she doesn't really have a care for the others. She's insensitive. She doesn't like you can explain everything. She needs a bath, and you cannot get one yet. So she'll go off and take care of that. Well, the rest of you can go and deal with this, because you know that's kind of what you're into, as it turns out.
Yep.
Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Keevan's happy with his new scar, by the way.
Oh yes, no, it's there's 2, 3 fresh scars on him in different places.
Like make a
Yeah, should put the straw grass in it to make it
round table.
nice.
When Sir Urgus comes in, he is very tired looking. Like he has really been working hard recently. A little flustered. His hair isn't really as nice as usual. He's generally a very pretty man, but it's very clear that he has been weathered, like recently.
He look as
He's
bad
gonna
as any of
comes
us.
No, far from. You're covered in like gore and just filth. Like if you could take your nails and like run it down your face, you would have a big cake under it, basically, of like sweat and it's just.
Just
And he
terrible.
does like walk into the room, just take a minute to like.
Look at us.
So you don't really smell it anymore, but
We haven't
it's
spelled it since day 2.
absolutely heinous. And like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Mission was a success.
I imagine Ren's a very interesting situation because unlike everyone else, he's not bad. He didn't get badly wounded, but his hands are going to be so covered from treating people.
Oh, that'd be awful.
You couldn't really. I mean, if you wash your hands in the water, you also have to drink from it, and that seemed like a stupid idea too.
Varen just
Yeah.
Varen gives a question and look to Alric, like maybe we should have taken a bath first, like Bree did.
Fergus comes and sits down at the round table. Sort of taking a deep sigh. You're back. Welcome back. I hope you have some good news.
I think he looks around the table and says, I think we can all call it a success. Somewhat.
Yes. I think so.
We may have been in landslides and we may have caused them, and we may have also fought many Dornish.
I hear you've brought a prisoner. Is that what you managed to accomplish then?
Oh no, better. We have found a trading post, as it were. A very defensible post, actually. And a tunnel that leads from the Tower of Joy straight to it. It's about half the distance to the roost. Has a fresh water supply and is well stocked already. The tunnel is wide enough for a hand-pulled cart.
Must be one of the text we have on the last attack at the vulture roost did speak of such tunnels, but they did not record them in enough detail for anyone to find them.
Lark nods. Says, we, however, have recorded this one tunnel. There are many other tunnels from this outpost. He kind of shrugs and says, but we definitely didn't have the manpower to search any of them.
My predecessor sent some men in there. Eventually, he went into a tunnel or a cave they found himself. Well, he is my predecessor.
Alaric nods. Says, well, this should work as a good bastion. It's
You've
on a
walked through
nice.
it yourself.
Yes, that's how we got here.
He looks at you, all your grime and such. Still, it's not been an easy trip, I take it.
No.
Getting there was not. We fought.
Yeah.
A good few dozen, as well.
In addition to the unharsh grounding, looks over to the two people in armor.
Kiva looks over as well.
Yes, the terrain was the worst enemy, I would say.
He nods. Yes, It is impossible to. Well, you would think it would be impossible to keep an army in there. Any army that is heavily armored, at least.
Yes.
Horses can't go. I'm impressed that you returned still with these things in hold. Like, your armor probably has multiple, bulges and stuff in it that you've hammered
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's all kinds of
Missing
fucked
quite
up.
a few scales in different places.
Yeah.
Luckily, this path circumvents the worst of the terrain.
I shall send some men to take a look at it. If it is what you say, then perhaps when they attack we can cut them off. Have men in their rear.
Seems to me that this place would be an excellent staging ground. The supplies in there were massive. Clearly, for much larger contingents of people than us. With the access to the tower, it seems like the best place to spearhead any operations into the mountain. I don't know if it is a good idea to formally take it and claim it, but it will be obvious that someone was there. We simply couldn't erase all of the trail of combat.
There is two issues. One is that it isn't dawn. We cannot simply go and do operations there. It is something that has blocked us before, and the Dornish lords are very unhappy to give us access to these things. The Martells are rather strict with what they allow, and martial lords marching around, attacking locations or claiming them in Dawn is one thing that is, well, definitely not on the list of things we can do. It is frustrating, as I'm rather sure that many of the lords who deny us access and deny knowing anything are the same ones who, well, are there.
On that note, Sir, I guess kind of looks over to Sir Alaric. We did discover some information, did we not?
Sorry, I just had to step away from the microphone. Didn't quite hear what was said. What information am I meant to know? Wait.
As in the houses we discovered that are working with them.
Oh yeah. Alaric nods and says, it would appear that most of the Dornish lords surrounding these mountains, with the exception of Winewood, are in fact some positioned in the roost itself.
Not sure I feared as much. I would certainly support a host quite much larger than what Karen can field himself. So I suppose it is up to the Lord of the Marshes to lead such an expedition, if it was to happen. He sort of smiles slightly, frustrated with the situation.
Alaric smiles and says,
It is the second issue. A force big enough to fight thousands of these people in their home ground, in terrain where they have all the advantages. Last time it was done as a collected effort by the Lord of the Reach himself, gathering his banner houses, tens of thousands of men. We simply do not have access to that, especially not now.
Alaric shakes his head and says, I think the best we can do is harry them, take this bastion when they do make their advances, cut their supply off there, and fight them on our own grounds, where we have the advantage.
I will bring it to Lord Karen, most certainly. I shall perhaps even personally go and inspect it with my men to see what we can do about using it. It is something we have not had before, for certain. If nothing else, it should delay them quite a bit if they expected to have it themselves. Any time we can have to prepare, is a good time.
Alaric nods and says, any expedition that tried to get there, we encountered one that was arriving while we were stationed there. They appear to only have enough supplies to get to this post. We barely made it. But apart from that, he looks around the table again.
Perhaps even just taking the... Sir Erlen looks up and says, perhaps then just taking the, food from there would make them go there, expect to find something, and then starve.
Probably yes.
Urgus looks at him. Having not really noticed him before, looks at all of you. Like,
Alaric nods and says, yes, we found Sir Westerling. Kind of tilts his head to, like...
Sir Erlen Westerling of the Crag. Sir, should I not say? A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I came the other way when I went into the mountains. I would have passed here, but...
His cheap guides took him into the mountain looking for gold. And the rest is self-explanatory.
Slightly in disbelief. He went into the mountains looking for gold. Shakes his head, Sir, then just sort of shakes his head at himself as well. Says, yes, unbelievable, I know now. I shall certainly tell my family at home that it is not worth it to extract that.
Who sent you into the mountains, sir?
So I did. I have 3 older brothers. Didn't really need another son, especially if I just sat there at home. You see, we have always been a bit of a prestigious house. Not just high ranking in the Westerlands, but well, about a generation ago, our last mine ran dry, and we have a bit of an issue with keeping things on track. So this is not good to be without gold in the Westerlands. So, hope perhaps we could find some here. Could set up a stead, extracted. I learned better. Just sort of pause a little bit and say, looks back at you and says, speaking of the Westerlands, there's been quite a few developments while you've been gone. For one, Mr. Alaric says, you are requested to return to respite by the Lord of the Marshes, Lord Lanus, as fast as possible.
Alaric slowly nods.
I believe the rest would go for the same of you, but it was specifically Alaric that was asked for. You see, he looks at you and says, the realms are at war.
Who?
We expected it to happen, and it has. There are 2 men claiming the title of king, the one with a sword and the one with the crown. I was informed by Lord Karen. I did not receive a missive myself, but Lord Karen received one, presumably sent to all the major houses. It will soon spread everywhere. It had the Blackfire seal on it. It stated that Lord Taman Blackfire allegedly never wanted any of this.
Varen spits on the ground.
Inside the council room.
Yes.
You know, you're already so filthy, and it's like drops. Like, all
Already
They're gonna have to
much
clean the
worse
entire
in here.
place.
It is very gross.
You know,
It's
he
like,
doesn't
oh,
really
you-
have the best manners.
It said
either.
that he wished so desperately that Daeron Targaryen had been a good and faithful king. He lamented that he had allowed it to go this far before he acted and interceded. He said that he was disgusted and angered by the discarding of traditions that he had noticed in the kingdoms in his absence. In addition to this, his claim, he also retells the story that was known some time ago, when he was young. A story of how it was discovered that Queen Nerys had taken her brother Aemon into her bed. It was of how King Aegon turned ill soon after this was made public. It is known that the king himself and those near to him said, and now Lord Blackfire restates it, that Daeron is a bastard born of Nerys' brother's seed, not of the king's, the late king's. The Blackfire has therefore declared himself the only legitimate king by merit and by right. And then I have another missive. I received this personally. Lord Baratheon, my liege's liege, is gathering a host at Storm's End. He calls for all loyal lords of the Stormlands to gather around him and find out who is the true king. Beyond that, there's been a missive from the Reach, from Highgarden. It says that anyone who fights for any reason during this war in the Reach will feel the full wrath of Highgarden upon their shoulders. It states that the Reach will stay neutral in this conflict, and that any lord of the Reach, or otherwise, who wishes to engage in the savagery of war will have to do so outside the borders of the Reach. Looks at you. More I do not know. Sadly, I'm not high on the list of people to be informed about these things. Then again, we have our own worries. I will not be going to Storm's End. Neither will Lord Karen. We have a duty here. He looks at you, as if saying, and so do you, but without actually saying it.
Varen nods in agreement.
Perhaps there will be more information about these things when you return to Respite. I cannot imagine that lots of the Marchers would be ill-informed.
Dark nods. Says, no doubt. There'll be war in one aspect. The vultures are probably mustering as we speak.
My guess would be so, yes. They will likely wait a few months. If we understand their plans correctly, they will wait until our forces are depleted fighting. Well, whoever we end up supporting. Then, when we can hope for no aid, they wish to attack, take our forts and keeps, fortify the marshes, and then perhaps even sue for peace with whoever wins, hoping that he will be too damaged to be able to deal with them in any other way. We might very literally be cut off as not worth it. Our lands are not rich.
If that time should come, it might be a good idea to collapse this tunnel. It's a good staging ground for them to go from. And it's the likely route they will take with the main army.
I do not know. I certainly will scout it and keep an eye on it. Collapsing it would be... it is a good way to get in there, and at some point we will have to go and cleanse it out. Though I doubt we could ever catch all of them. They've always been there, and they likely will always be there. But any organized power structure will need to be destroyed.
Could maybe ruin the water supply there.
Yes, the problem with that is that it is the only one we know of, and they likely know of a lot more.
Indeed.
It is a harsher blow to us, but perhaps they would do so themselves if they knew we knew of it. She said this, I do not know. But I shall certainly do my best to find out. I am very impressed with your actions. Sort of looks to Brennan Kieran and says, Wraith didn't pick you out of turn, it seems.
Kieran smiles. Thank you, my lord. It was...
Please, just sir.
He smiles again, sort of looks down, slightly embarrassed. Thank you, sir.
We served the best we could, ensuring everyone came back alive.
Keep
nods, smirks a bit.
Good. Lord Wraith isn't going to be available for now. He is with Lord Karen. He's gone south to Tali lands.
Oh dear. I assume then that we will continue in our service to House Caladan. He sort of looks over to both.
They are the Lords of the Marshes. I see no reason not to. You do not deserve to be demoted for your actions here, certainly. They will have a much greater capacity to reward you than we do.
Yes, rewards.
I think there is a joint smirk on both their faces from.
The glint
twitches a bit.
And
in your case, an avaricious and mine an ambitious one.
Yep.
In the current situation, I'm sure there will be lots of more ways to prove your worth. These are times where merit makes men rise high.
Money, power.
Mm.
Women, golden women.
I love gold.
I like power.
Looks at you.
What? Can't all
Regardless, you should get some rest, some water.
Can't all be paragons of virtue
You
like
should leave tomorrow, earliest as you can.
Even nods.
We'll probably leave like midnight, like during the middle of the night, because that's our sleep schedule now.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. That's a very early morning.
Yeah, very, very early morning.
If we are lucky, the great rains will come soon. Keep them locked in.
Let's pray for rain then, I guess.
He looks over like the dusty mountains from his window. It's not, yeah. Yeah.
Alaric nods and says, I'm not surprised that the dragons didn't want this place.
Since as they did, they just
Too
couldn't
much
take
hassle.
it.
Well, they had everything else.
Yeah.
Kievan at this point will sort of start to creep out of the room,
Yeah.
maybe go towards a bathroom
His
or like
synagogue stands. There's like a few people who come. He doesn't have a lot of servants or anything, but there's enough that they will like make some hot baths for you.
Yes, I will soak for the entire day, just laying it like
You
Oh,
get
like
out
when
and
you
it's
go
like, yeah, we're
down into
going.
it, it's just like full of like nasty foam, like the first time. So we can sort of have it emptied and filled.
You have to
with
do
some
that a
new
few
water,
times.
just to,
Yeah, there's a few
scrub
dunks before
everything.
anything.
It certainly is a bit of a job, and
Ugh.
like,
So much water, we just
I
throw it
didn't
out.
know not smelling could smell so good.
That's right.
We can
Might
drink
be a
so
bit of
much.
soap in there.